Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Last Homely Garden. I'm Kate and I'm sitting in the cabin next to the pond that wasn't here a year ago. My friend Ant from Ant's Country Life helped me to imagine this whole project and build a pond, a cabin and make it the most beautiful, insulated, warm place to be. It's my little haven. I can just see the house up through the track there and at the end of the path. But I feel like I'm on holiday when I'm down here. I feel like I'm on a little retreat. Now, a year ago then, what did this bit of land look like? Anna and I have put together all sorts of clips from the last year to show you just how this cabin and pond were built. And that's what follows now. And so I really hope you enjoy it. All the videos are there on the garden channel and they're all numbered, so they're easy for you to find in order. And you're going to be seeing clips from quite a lot of those videos now. So enjoy. That was seriously one of the most awesome things I've done in a long time, and I think I could see myself as a digger driver. It was pretty good. So we let the real digger driver take over and Ant spent the rest of that day digging out the shape of the pond.
Absolutely perfect.
So we're at that stage now where Ant's putting the carpet that we managed to get from the skip here on the farm, very luckily. He's putting that down first, just in case there are any rocks or any, I mean, he's been good about pulling all the wood and stuff out, so there's really not much, but just in case there is anything, the carpet will be the first line of defence for the liner. It's really important to have this wooden structure going around the outside because the soil here is so soft, there would be no defined edge to the pond at all. And then we got a big length of it to go over the top end of the pond, but we don't need that just yet. We were just measuring that out, ready to cover over the next bit that's going to be happening. Well, here are the fleeces all packed into their bags, ready for the wool marketing board to take them. But this one would appear to be mine. This ground is incredibly soft, isn't it?
Unbelievably
soft. Yeah.
But this is why the fleeces will act as a great barrier, because the soil underneath is really soft.
Yes.
And regardless of how much deeper we go, it's just going to stay soft.
Yes.
So
the
our
carpet,
best barrier is the carpet first, and then the fleeces, and then the fleece on top of the fleeces, and then the liner.
So then we put that piece of horticultural membrane over the top of the fleeces just to keep those all in place, and then we opened it all out and started to fit it into the pond. Now this is a job that's best done on a day with no wind and with at least 2 people. Open it up realise that it's actually far bigger than you thought it was. I think this way round, and then just keep on unrolling this liner so it fits the pond. Amazing. Then we siphoned water in from the dam that I live beside through a series of hose pipes into my little pond here, and which gave us that lovely pond water, which was better than putting in tap water. That last video I showed you the veranda, the platform that Ant had built, just overlapping the edge of the pond, which was going to be a lovely, lovely sitting area. Well, we were a bit disingenuous, weren't we? Because we knew it was going to be a bit more than a sitting area. What's it going to be?
Well, it's going to be the veranda too. A cabin. A cabin. Cabin in the woods.
We're building a little cabin, just a little thing, just a bit bigger than a shed, really. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be somewhere that I can, and friends and you can come and sit and have a cup of tea and watch the wildlife through the window. And so we knew we were going to do that, didn't we?
All along. Because there's going to be quite a bit of weight on top of this floor. What we've decided is we're going to dig down into the floor 3 foot, 4 foot, and then put an old concrete flag that we've cut up into squares. So we're going to recycle these old concrete paving flags as a solid base. Yeah. So it'll spread the weight onto the softer area, and then we'll set the post onto it, and then that'll support it far better. And then I'm going to show you how we use this great stuff called postcrete. Postcrete. It's a very fast setting, pre-mixed concrete, and it comes in a powder with bits of grit in and stuff. Put the post in, bit of water. It's like making a cake. Pour the postcrete in, stir it around a bit, and it goes hard. And that's about as good at cooking as I get.
20 minutes on gas mark 5, and there it is.
5 minutes and it'll be hard.
5 minutes and it's hard.
5 minutes and it's hard.
Okay, so what we'll have is a very secure base foundation.
Yep.
Okay. Again in a minute. Okay. So the floor's properly in now. The start of the floor. What's going to happen next is the frame's going to go up. And I think you see that the way that Ant works, the frame's going to go up pretty quickly. So the cabin has a floor.
Excellent.
It is, isn't it?
Excellent. Gives us a nice solid base to work off now. We can.
Because what's the next thing?
Framing's going up. So decisions to be made by you again.
Got a rodent-proof base to the shed. We've got this fantastic insulation, and then this sheet of ply. Is this
3/4 inch ply, exterior ply, so it's resistant to moisture. We'll put that down on the floor.
And then we'll think about what kind of coverings we want. And this is where I think maybe Ant, he realises that I'm on Pinterest a lot, looking at interiors of little cabins and how I want all these really nice features. And that's where we might be looking at some interesting little additions as we go on. Like we say, there's lots of plans for this cabin that might be a little bit weird and out there, which
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
responsible for, guys.
I only
Okay.
do as I'm told.
Yeah, he does actually. He's very good. He's very good.
So we've got Ali give us a hand,
It's a
carry the timber
two-person job,
down,
really.
and
Yeah.
the doors and windows.
So we're using windows that have not new windows. I was really keen to use some old recycled windows where we could, because I'd like this cabin to look a bit old and a bit sort of frayed around the edges. Not brand new.
Yeah.
Hello YouTube friends. While I'm filming this, it's a couple of days before my Last Homely House Christmas boxes go live. So I've been very, very busy with all that the organisation it takes to do that. But that hasn't stopped Ant. He has been working so hard every single day on this cabin, even in the worst of the horrible rain. So today he's been putting a veranda cover on. He's been putting this roof to the veranda, and he's going to board that out. But really I want to show you the inside of the cabin. This bit here is where the windows are going to be. That was where I had that scrappy old door that didn't work as a window. So my son's going to order some double glazed units to go in there. Where is he? He's right up there talking to Ant. He's over there. So he's just measured up for the windows there. So we have this window here and this one here, the only thing providing light at the moment. But I will show you, I'll twizz you around and I'll show you some of the things that Ant's been doing. So here is the composting toilet complete with its seat. And it's got its own little window here, and there's going to be a door across here. So that's gone in perfectly. But I wanted to talk to you about what we're covering the walls with. So can you see these quite rough boards here? Well, what these are reclaimed wood from pallets. You know those pallets that things get delivered on, and you always see them stacked up all over the place, and you know, pallets. So I bought some bundles of pallet wood here just to see if we wanted to use them, and they're really, really rough. They've got loads of nails in them, and the edges are all a little bit shot. And Ant and I, when we first opened the pack with them in, we were disappointed when we saw them, but in fact I think for what this cabin is, I think they look great. Now of course the walls then, if we look here, he's put this stuff called OSB, and this is on the outside of the cabin, and then these beams, what are they, what would you call these uprights here, and this gap's particular because we're going to put insulation in there. Now, for a long time I've wanted to use wool insulation, and so I researched it and I found, let's get this one down to show you, it's not very heavy. Okay, so this is the wool insulation that I found. Now this is wool with 15% polyester in it, which is the right blend apparently to make it exactly what you need. It's treated, in fact it goes through a lot of processes in order to make it usable. Oh, it's not so warm, is it?
No, you can tell the weather's changing for sure.
The weather's definitely changing.
Yeah.
So I'm back down in the cabin with Ant now. Now I've been busy in the house, and so he's been cracking on. He's just been working away every day. But yesterday he started to do this one particular thing. Now, talk about that a bit, because I'm amazed by what you're doing.
Well, I've seen, Kid does the quilting, and I often pop in and out the house to have a chat first thing in the morning or last thing at night before I go home. And she was cutting little bits of quilting and fabric up, and I says, I can do that in the shed. And she went, no, you can't. So, of course, I did.
This is a challenge. And so I've made a quilter out of him, a wooden quilter, albeit, but he's a quilter now.
Yeah.
And so I talked to him about all the way that these shapes tessellate together, and of course you can do that with wood.
Yeah. Dead easy. We'll have a saw, a mitre crosscut saw, which you can turn and slide to different angles, and literally put the bit of wood in, chop it at a couple of angles, and there you have wooden fabric for Kate to cut together, and some crazy idea that's coming up, I can tell you.
This is a crazy idea. This wall here then just had the uprights. What would you call those?
Just the framing.
The framing.
Just
had the framing, which we were going to carry on and put the pallet board onto, but then Ants boarded it out with this stuff, which means that now it works a bit like my design board, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Well, the door handle's completed now. Listen to this. I love the squeak. And here's the finished scrappy wooden quilt panels with my flying geese and my pinwheels, and the 4-patch up the middle, separating the two, which I'm going to just leave as plain wood. I love how this looks. A couple of days later, my granddaughter came with her daddy, and she really enjoyed playing with the shapes and making her own patterns. I'm going to make her into a quilter, if it's the last thing I do. So I'm down in the cabin with Ant. It's been ages, hasn't it, before we could put this window in because of the wind?
It has, yeah. We've tried 3 or 4 times, and the weather this last 6 weeks has just been 40, 50 mile an hour gusts, and it's just never let. So we've got a perfect day today. A bit of frost last night, bit of snow.
Bit of snow.
But
you don't want to be handling glass, big pieces of glass, with any chance of a wind.
Definitely not.
So here we are peeling off the green membrane that Ant put round the cabin to protect it. This is where the windows are going to go. This is a very satisfying job. So all this time I haven't been able to see out of the cabin windows, knowing that that lovely view is just out there. silicone then around the outside, which will hold the double glazed window panes in place. Here it comes. What a difference this is going to make. Okay, so in it goes. Now this is where we find out if my son John has measured the gap properly, and it turns out that he has. Goes in there beautifully. Thanks, John.
Beautifully. Put something around here.
This is so good. Okay, so we've had loads of ideas about how to attach this composting toilet curtain.
Yep.
Loads. And this is the one that's going to work. And, well, this was one
We had these
where we would put these
on
little
here,
these little hooks up.
on here.
Then we did things where I made rings, like curtain rings. And we made a tape and that didn't work. And then, what did you just say, which made me turn the camera on?
All the way through doing the cabin, we've had, should we do this, should we do that, let's try this, does it work, does it not, some have, some haven't, and this is exactly the same. We've tried three or four ideas.
That's what I loved about everything that's come together here. You have an idea, I have an idea, we sort it out, we do a bit of internet research, and then we go, what if we did this? And this is like the third idea, isn't it?
Yeah, and we just end up with such an organic final process.
And the right thing.
And the right thing. We've tried a couple this morning on here. Yeah. They've been no good. And then we've come up with this and it works a treat.
One is
and
perfect.
This is
so what's going to happen now, I've sewn a tweed sleeve to the top of the curtain, which is the same colour as the curtain, so you can't see it, it's not obvious. Definitely and then not. The pole goes through there. Ant's going to screw it in.
Fix this in place and then
the curtain. And there we are.
Job sorted.
And then, as I've just said to Ant, because I've been running up and back and down to the house sewing things and remembering that I've forgotten something. I said to Ant, all this because I can't walk a few yards to go to the toilet. But this is going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. It's perfect. It's a great result.
So this went up very easily, for Ant anyway. I definitely did get under his feet quite a lot. So I pretty much left it up to him after this. He would carry down one of these boards. And then measure for the... Now this board is destined to go on the right-hand side of the cabin, the piece facing the road. And so these are the very long pieces. And he's got a very good system of doing this without needing anyone to hold the other end at all. And so he measures the piece that he needs and carries the next board down. And then, if you watch, he just puts one screw in the far end there, so that will then support the board while he screws a screw in this end on with the spirit level, and he can put that screw in, and he's nailing it in with stainless steel nails because they'll last a long time. So you can see, can't you? He doesn't need any help from me. So next Ant was talking about covering the front and sides of the veranda cover, and also the bit at the bottom of the deck. So, and this is where he did need a little bit of help. So this board here has got the waney edge pointing downwards, and it just neatens off the whole look of the cabin.
Just hold that there.
Oh well, I'll do my best. I'm down in the cabin just now because Ant's here. We're going to put some shelves along the window and along here. I've been wanting those for ages and he's got time to do that today. So I'm going to have a big sweep out of all the dust and stuff that collects, and we're going to get on and do that. So I've moved everything so that we can get into the place where he needs to be. Shelves underneath here and a shelf along here. So watch this space.
More and we're done.
Excellent.
If you were looking down the garden looking at it,
Yeah.
you would want it to look spectacular every time you looked at it, which would mean you could put in some dwarf heathers,
All sorts.
and stuff
we
like
could
that
really
as well.
choose species, couldn't we? What do you think? Oh, that one looks a bit better. Big slug there. Oh yeah, this looks right.
Coconut mat,
Oh, okay.
kind of fibre that it's grown on, so you hold it all together.
That one looks better.
Yeah. I think it'll be absolutely fine.
Ant's back, and today, what are we doing today?
Today I'm just setting up the scaffold and the framework. Because we're going to be putting a green roof on the cabin, we need to be up a height off the floor
Yeah.
to work easily. So
Okay.
today it's just setting out, get the scaffold ready, cut all the bits of extra wood and
Yeah.
get
There's
all the
quite a lot of
pieces,
prep.
bits and pieces together that we need.
With anything like this, there's always a load
Yeah,
of prep, isn't
That's
there?
right. And then
Okay.
we'll get that sorted, and then hopefully we'll have Kate up on the scaffold. And
Oh well, maybe. You know how I
Put the
just like
green
to
roof
get
on.
under his feet. I'll probably do that today. All right then. So absolutely brilliant. We're doing a green roof because I've always wanted to do something like that. In a, would it be, what I'd really like is to put a green roof over my entire house. But
Yeah.
we're not going to manage that, are we? We'll just
it's
do
probably the
cabin.
only time I say no.
Yeah, okay.
But
All
definitely
right,
not.
That's fine. Okay then, so Eileen's going to supervise, or as somebody said in the comments last time, snoopavise.
Well, that's true. So first of all, we'll put another plastic sheet on top of this one to protect the roof
Yes.
and stop any water seeping through.
Yeah.
And then we'll put the drainage
layer.
down, which is like a woven plastic kind of drainage, open
And it
membrane,
just
isn't it?
provides like a gap, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a bit of a gap.
So if we get a
several
heavy
different-
downpour of rain, it runs straight through, and we've dug drainage points on the back, or I've cut drainage points, I should say, on the wood on the back, and all the excess water will run out through the drainage underneath. Then we'll have
growing medium.
the grown medium, so we'll put that on,
Yes.
and then on top of that we'll roll out the sedums. They're also grown on top of cocoa fibre,
Yeah.
to keep them all in one piece.
Tell us a bit more about what we can do over time with this by planting other things in here?
Yeah. Well, another option that we'll have as well is we can plant bulbs into it, the likes of grape hyacinths and crocuses and stuff like that. And you'll get a nice burst of colour in the spring off them.
Yeah.
And then also you can plant in other wild flowers such as cowslips, wild primula, and you're going to get grasses growing it anyway if the seeds blow through as well. But the big one for here, which we'll have to watch, is the tree seed.
Yes.
You know, we'll end up getting quite a few of the rowan that you can see, but also the oak, beech, stuff like that, and especially silver birch, which grows very, very quickly from self-sown.
And
we've got
we
quite
have
a few
lot
of those.
of it here.
And all it is, we'll just have to keep an eye on it, and as you see the shoots coming through, we'll just nip them off with the scissors, and that'll stop them from growing. Otherwise, the roots will wreck the roof, like, you know.
And yes, the roots will wreck the roof, and we don't want trees growing out of the top of it.
Absolutely not.
So
Absolutely not.
there is, obviously, it's a living thing. There is some maintenance to this.
That's right.
It's not like putting a bit of roofing felt down.
No.
And walking away. We have to maintain this.
And what you'll find as well is some of the sedums that's in it will thrive, some of them will die off.
Yes.
It'll become its own landscape that fits into where it's at.
Yeah.
You know, not everything's going to grow well, some things will grow better than others, and you'll find out in probably 6 to 8 months' time that it could look a lot different to what it does now.
Okay,
you know?
well, that'll be something to keep an eye on over time then.
Yeah, it'll develop as it grows, you know, it'll find its own environment that suits everything, like, you know.
Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I did. I loved revisiting the pond being frozen and the goose skidding around on it and the green roof going on and all the different stages that have made this cabin the wonderful little haven that it is. So I hope to make many more videos about the garden and the cabin and the pond, especially when we do some planting next year. But I don't post to a regular schedule, so it'd be a good idea when you subscribe to put your notifications on so you won't miss any of the videos that I post to the Last Homely Garden. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again here next time.